Thank both of you for taking this time this morning. This is the earliest podcast I've ever done. No, I'm not.
And look how good we look.
You're looking for it. Now, I think everyone needs to know that you're about to go swimming.
Yeah, in an hour, yeah.
And you suggested we come this. I was up for it. So you said, "Hey, let's do this, Agnes. Let's do it. What about? Can we do a different time?" And I was thinking, "Okay, you probably want to do it 7:30 or something." You said, "No. What about 6:15?" I said, "Okay, let's go."
7:30 is when swimming starts, so we were, gotta fit it in.
So tell me, where are you from originally? You said I thought both of you were from Canada, but you're not.
We are. He definitely is. I moved to Canada when I was a child, when I was 9 years old. I was born in Poland, and I lived there until I was 9.
You told me that once before, a long time ago. Okay.
Yeah, but I consider myself Canadian because I lived there so many years, right?
Did you ever speak Polish?
Of course.
I mean, do you still speak Polish?
Yeah, of course. Just not so many Polish people.
That's right. Who do you speak with?
But yeah, I mean, when you're 9, you have a vocabulary. You've gone to school for many years.
That's right.
So
your base is set already. Mm. Did you have siblings? Do you have siblings?
No siblings.
So you're the only child?
I am the only child.
How are mom and dad doing?
Mom is in Canada, and dad is in Poland. They divorced when I was quite young. I was 2 years old, so I don't have a lot of contact with my dad.
But you've had contact?
When I was a child and up until my early 20s, and then not really, no. He has his own family. And
he has he had more children?
No, he didn't have any more children,
okay.
But he has remarried and stepson, whatever, so. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta let things go.
So Kirk, you're a Canadian, born and bred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where in Canada?
Windsor.
Windsor, Canada.
If you know where that is, it's right across from Detroit. Just across the river.
I think I went there. I actually did. I used to go to these conventions at McCormick Place, McCormick Hall in Chicago. It was a medical convention.
Okay, but this is Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan, okay.
Yeah.
It's a big difference between Detroit and Chicago.
Oh, okay. You're Chicago?
No, Detroit. Across from Detroit.
Okay.
So I was born south of the U.S.
Okay.
Because actually Detroit is north of where I grew up in Windsor.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When I looked north, I saw Detroit.
All right.
That was strange.
It's like a hook.
Not many people realize there's a big, there's a little
over the lake, right?
Yeah.
Just we were on Lake St. Clair. It's between Lake Huron and Lake Erie.
Right.
And then the Detroit River there, and I grew up right across.
So did you dream of one day going to America? No.
No. I looked across. I could sail across.
I could see there.
I could wave at Grosse Pointe and from my parents' house, and
Wait. So actually, you could actually go to America if you went to by boat.
I could almost.
No problem,
it was a little long to swim, but I could get them. I sailed right across.
And go there and get off and be right over there without going through.
Yeah, we've done that
any kind
before.
of customs or anything.
Well, you're supposed to register. Yes, you're supposed to.
But you don't really. No one's.
Yeah. I mean, people.
It's the 70s, man.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm saying,
it's all the same. Yeah. You just drive. My father had a boat. We'd sail across. Go to a restaurant and come back, and you're supposed to, I think, just call or something. Call
let them know you're coming.
And they're like, yeah, okay, we got it. That was it. Now it's a little. Now actually they don't. During COVID, you're not allowed to do that.
You can't go.
You can sail right beside from Canada to the U.S. or U.S. to Canada, but you can't do a marine landing anymore.
So they actually have people there patrolling that to make sure that doesn't happen.
I don't know about patrols. it's a very friendly border.
You're just not supposed to do it.
You're just not supposed to do it.
I'm sure if you get caught, there's a big fine.
You'll be in trouble if you're caught.
Yeah.
Or day jail or something like that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Siblings?
Yes, I have a sister who's younger and a brother who passed away a few years ago. And he's younger too. Yeah.
How many years different? You're the oldest. Okay, you're
I'm the
number
oldest.
one.
Yeah.
How many years different between you and
2 years to my brother and 7 years to my sister.
Your sister's the youngest.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Are you guys
Close?
Not.
I'd say not so close, but we see each other.
Mhm.
She lives near my mother in Windsor.
I mean, I think there's quite a few years between the two of you, like almost 8, I think, right?
Yeah.
So 7 years.
So it's kind of, you were almost
Right.
separate children, separate
Kids?
families.
She has kids?
She has one, yeah. She has so I have a niece, yes.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
That's neat, that's neat.
Yeah.
So growing up, what was it like for you growing up? Let me see, you came when you were 9 years old. You came, how old were you? You said 15 years old? You were 15 when you met each other?
Yeah, grade 10, right?
Why don't you elaborate on that one? I don't remember as we...
Well, we were on the swim team together in high school. And
well, how long but you found out later, how many years did you go to school together without knowing each other?
From grade 9, we went to the same school in grade 9.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other.
Well, I mean, okay. We were on the same swim team. It was a pretty big swim team, I guess, at the very beginning.
A couple hundred
and I remember, I mean, I met you maybe like that I remember in grade 10, I guess. And I said, because we had a couple of campuses at school, so I said, well, I guess we were always on the opposite campus, because it was a big school.
It's a huge school.
It must have been campus.
Yeah.
It sounds like a mini
2,000
college.
kids.
No, over 2,000. It was close to 3,000.
Are you serious?
For grade 9 to 12, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first year Ontario switched the Catholic schools to be public schools, and then
so it was like a big
and
rush.
so you didn't have to pay anymore. So it was a big rush to go to the Catholic high schools in Ontario.
So
change.
We said we met, and he's like, no, we met last year. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he reminds me, you gave me a ride home one day. I'm like,
Wait, on the bicycle?
no, like my stepdad.
Oh, yeah, 15 and a half, you could get your lunch permit.
No. My
60,
stepdad was picked me up that one time, and my friend, he said, my friend Ronnie asked me, can you give my friend a ride home? Because it was like a horrible winter day, like an evening, right? Like crazy, it's probably minus 20 or something ridiculous. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. So this kid got into the back of the car with a toque on, scarf up to here, and we're kind of talking to him, and I said, okay, where to? And he said, just drop me off at this corner here. And I'm like, well, where do you live? We'll drop you off home, because it's crazy out there. And he insisted, and so, because I guess that's where the bus stop was. So I'm like, okay, fine, so we dropped him off. My stepfather and I looked at each other and went, he's crazy, and drove home.
Do you remember that time?
Oh yeah, I remember it. She doesn't. She doesn't remember meeting me then, but that she didn't know it was me.
I didn't know it was him.
So what was the reason why you actually wanted to get off there instead of letting
Oh, my parents had it instilled me that people don't. We live too far away, and people won't want to give. It's too much trouble to give you a ride home. So I took the bus, and then.
He was another 5 kilometers from there.
Nowadays, but they had instilled me that it was too difficult to. It was we were beyond the bus stop.
So you're being very Canadian and kind, and just saying, I'll
too much trouble.
This blizzard and
Yeah.
make it home. I hope I'll make it home. So what happened from then? When did you really start to meet each other?
Well, we met each other in grade 10, I guess we had some classes together too, and swim team. You were doing clubs, so I didn't see you as much at swimming, and then I think we started dating on and off 12. Grade 12. Yeah.
Who was pursuing who? You guys didn't look at that.
I asked her out. I guess I asked her out. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go. I'll agree to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then you dated for years and years and years. Did you ever think how soon was it after the dating that you thought maybe this might be the one? This is the marriage thing. This is interesting.
We went through university. We were at 2 different schools.
Yeah, we went to she went to U of T.
We dated for 7 years, I think, before we.
Till I was in graduate school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Before we got married.
Yeah, because we got married when I finished grad school, that would have been.
So you never did the
23.
traditional, like, we lived together for several years and then...
We did
Well,
live
we
together.
did. Yeah, we did. It was sort of whatever fit into university, and
Gotcha.
I ended up doing a co-op job for a year when she was after third year of school in Toronto, and then we lived together in
with 2 other roommates.
yes,
Yeah.
to survive to afford the place.
know.
We lived downtown Toronto, and
1001 Bay.
yeah,
It's
that
like
was
a
our,
fancy address, but
that was
know,
our entry
living
into
like-
condo life. And we've never done it again.
You had enough of that. That was the one experience you don't want to have again.
Yes. That was the only time I lived downtown Toronto, and that was enough.
it.
Yeah.
So Agnes, what did you go to school to study?
I studied architecture and landscape architecture at the University of Toronto.
Okay.
So it's like a 5-year program.
Right. And after you got out, did you ever do it? Did you ever?
Yeah, I did it for a bit, but this was in 95 I graduated, and at that point, the market was terrible. So I worked for a firm, and then I worked for some landscaping companies, and it was just, for women at the time, pretty difficult to be in a firm like that. Like, you're just definitely, you didn't see a future for yourself. It was always, making $15 an hour, $16 an hour, and you also had to apprentice to get your papers. So you had to do an apprenticeship, and you had to write these exams, about 8 exams, and you had to be associated with a firm. So basically, for that time, you're like their slave.
Right.
But then I got into not software design, but I guess software design. With a prof that I had when I was still in university. Like, I took some elective courses, and that was just, I did that for a few years. So that was pretty exciting. And then...
well, you started a company.
Oh, yeah, well, sure.
Yeah, so there you go.
It wasn't that
That's
small.
It's good to have both of you here.
No, it was actually it was a very exciting time.
How many years? How many years did you have your company?
I'm trying to think, was it...
Well, you rolled out of the university program, so
Yeah, so
almost right after
5 or 6?
Yeah, at least 5
or 6? Yeah.
Until 2001.
Yeah, and then it kind of, it was a startup, so it went the way of the dodo. But it was still a great idea. Actually, it would have been great for you, because it was about video editing software.
Okay.
And it was
This is what, 2000?
Easy. That's when we kind of
2008 you started going then.
So it was video editing software. So it was pre the iPhone and pre a lot of this stuff. So I remember we had to we were always working on the compression codecs and how to get them to work with our software. We were always upgrading new graphics cards that worked with video. It was just a very complex thing at the time. Now it's super easy. You could do it all on the phone.
I know. It is doing.
Ours was like a slightly different metaphor for video editing. It was, you could plan out your script, so you write into the software, and then you would drop your video clips where you plan them out, and then you could layer the texts or audio or anything. You could just kind of added.
Right.
So it was a really sort of it was like writing a script.
Then
with
Video Toaster? You remember Video Toaster?
Yeah.
That's what I started on.
Yeah.
And I was doing that. And that knocked everybody out for a second.
Yeah.
Then when Apple came in,
yeah,
it was all in one box. We
were actually working with Apple. Like, we were one of their developers. But the way Apple works is they have many cakes in the oven, right? And and we were like an external developer. So I mean, who knows? In a slightly different universe, we could have been the iMovie.
That's right.
But yeah, because we were developing for QuickTime for Java. This was QuickTime for Java for creating this application. It was pretty cool. It was we did a lot of educational stuff. I made all kinds of explanation videos. Oh my God!
That's interesting.
You
still have some archives of that.
Somewhere,
someplace, deep.
Yeah.
Do you ever have any aspirations of doing anything like that again? Or
in the right situation, one thing I learned about that situation is you have to work with people you like.
I would think
because
so.
it's a tough
It is
tough haul,
in the
and
time,
if you
yes.
don't like the people, man, oof, it's painful. So I had a fantastic team.
How many of you were there?
5, but we kind
Five
of grew.
full-time people,
5
and
full-time
then-
people, and it kind of ebbed and flowed. We had a lot of students. Some of them are like professors at Stanford and MIT now.
So every now and then Kirk would walk through with his cup of coffee and say, how's it going? What were you studying at the time?
Well, I did engineering, electrical engineering. I went to grad school, did engineering physics. So yeah, and then I was working while she was getting her startup off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were both working pretty hard.
Yeah.
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 So what were you doing?
We were doing microchips, and actually one of the interesting markets we were doing hardware for a lot of video stuff. Actually,
Okay,
it was
right.
interesting, and one of the markets
Video
was
players, yeah.
we sold to some of these editing
These
companies, which slowly started getting to be a smaller and smaller business.
That's right,
for
that's
us.
right. They were big for a second, for a hot second.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the way to go.
Yeah.
And then after that,
Yeah, we were doing the chips that go into monitors and TVs, like once
Okay.
they changed over from analog, like the CRT,
right.
to flat panel TVs, and so I was doing that for a bunch of years.
What company were you working with?
It was a company called Genesis Microchip, and
Yeah.
then they got bought a while back by the company I'm at now, which is called ST Micro.
Okay.
So
So you're still doing the same thing?
I wouldn't say it's the same thing.
Okay.
That business has gone,
Okay.
and I've redone different businesses. Since
So do you
then
now
to make it-
crystals or something? What are you doing?
Well, ST Micro, we do, it's a huge company. We do, just throw out some numbers, top 10 semiconductor company. If you're familiar with Texas Instruments,
yes,
we're right
yes.
about a little bit smaller than them. We sell about 2 billion microcontrollers a quarter. Those little microcontrollers that go into everything. That's what we do.
Right.
And we also do sensors like the gyroscope, accelerometer that go on your phone.
Right.
Those
I was going to say
things.
yes.
Some other sensors for imaging and things like that. So all kinds of different.
What's your part in this?
I do. I'm the. I run the strategy office for the company.
Okay.
So most of my team's in Europe actually, because our headquarters is Geneva. So that's what I do today.
You do strategy as far as what, in market share or what? What do you mean?
Overall, like which markets are growing,
Okay.
trying to connect which products we make and which markets we invest in to fit which markets are growing, which ones aren't. Should we expand? Should we increase the markets that we target? Should we look at markets we're not in? Things like that. How do our customers use these microchips, and how do they connect them together? Maybe they buy 1 or 2 from us. How can we make it easier for them to utilize a few of them in their system? So
Now you say driven strategic planning. I mean, for example, but are you the president of that division?
it's not so
It's not
much
set
a
that way.
division. It's not that
Okay.
big. We're a small group, but we connect with all. ST has 17 divisions.
Okay. In Japan, how many?
No, none.
None.
We're
So
sales and marketing office. So
You're the only one here.
No.
Okay.
We've got about 170 people here, but I'm the only one doing from the strategy group here, and my team is all over the world, but mainly in Europe. So go back and forth.
Why do they have you here and they're in Europe?
Well, it's a bit of legacy. My last job, I was doing Asia Pacific and doing marketing for Asia Pacific. So, and it just
You get to pick where you want to be?
I wouldn't say it that way. I mean, COVID sort of slowed down a lot of the travel, so everyone just sort of stayed in one place. And so, yeah, I'm still here, but my team's all over the world. Previously, I was doing marketing just for Asia Pacific.
Okay.
And,
So this is your This was your specialty, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Not so much in Japan, a lot in China,
Mhm,
back and
mhm.
forth, and Korea, and that. Yeah.
But now you're not dealing with China anymore.
Not so much anymore. No. It's,
No one is.
He's
are they?
Canadian, so
Yeah.
we were like, maybe.
Well,
you
we
shouldn't
still
go.
sell a lot to China. I mean, it's
understand.
a complex
I understand.
situation,
Right.
but there's still a lot of companies that need semiconductors there. Just and a lot of our devices, like still things like the iPhone, are made in China.
Mhm.
So there's still a lot of sales, even if the actual design is done somewhere else. So China's still a big hub for semiconductors for sure.
But technology is advancing so fast. I mean, it's much faster than most of us can realize, and they can't get those products they have out there to the consumer because they're just getting used to the ones they have. In many cases, right? Because I mean, storage capacity has just gone. The SSD cards.
Yeah.
I mean,
those things are. Yeah, that's amazing how much you can fit into those chips.
Yeah, and I have.
But it's just new technology. That's the
it's
challenge.
exponential, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I heard a statistic that made me rethink my aging. I'll be 70 next year, and I was thinking, based upon technology and what we have available, I'm only halfway through my life. Think of my mother's 93 with the technology we have now. It's really conceivable that I could be.
I like that thinking.
I could be 140 and in pretty good health.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
I did hear somewhere that based on.
And you're right in that. You're in that field without realizing, because those gyros would be in me. Keeping me from falling over. No, really.
Yeah, maybe.
It'd be.
I
motors,
I heard somewhere that
robot
the cellular capacity to renew itself for humans taps out at about 120. So there's some fundamental thing that would need to change before you get to 140, but you never know.
Someone's got to find the switch, shut that off.
We have our computer, that we're doing that so easily now. That's what I'm thinking. It's not inconceivable to think that you can be at that age and functioning well.
Yeah.
Still swimming and doing the things you like doing.
Yeah.
What do you see for your future?
Because
COVID has slowed it down.
Quick change. Oh yeah.
No, I mean it is quick. Because I know what you're doing now. I think most of us know what you're doing. How long have you been in Japan?
What is it, since 2009?
Did you leave for a while and then come back?
No.
You've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
We've been parked outside of Takanawa, next to Marriott for 13 years.
Yeah. We moved there.
We used to live right close to the temporary TAC.
Oh yeah, the temporary TAC was perfect for us.
Yeah, we were a minute away. Yeah.
Oh, did you live where Pierre? It's in the same place?
No.
He had his Jaguar right across the street.
No, not there.
Oh,
just
no.
a little bit
about.
further. We're across the street next to the Marriott.
Yeah.
You know where the Marriott? Oh, sorry, it was the La Forêt back then.
Oh, La Forêt.
Yeah.
Now
and
it's
there's like a park.
Oh, yes, she's right. La Forêt now.
Where there's some houses there, and we.
You're back there. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to come down the hill, across the street, then go over.
That's it.
It's not a big hill.
This is a small place.
Yeah, no, it was great.
You had to pass the mansion. That's a Mitsubishi.
Yeah, the Mitsubishi.
Mansion.
Yes.
One of the first mansions.
It's still there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
People get tours there, and I got to go in there to have dinner.
Never been inside.
No, never.
I went inside. It's really nice.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it's really, really nice. They kept it up, and you go into you go into their dining room, and it sits, I guess, 25 people or so.
Wow.
A long table, and you walk in the entrance to foyer, and then you have a big staircase that goes up. It's a mansion. It's nice.
Never been. It's
really
very ominous from the outside.
Yeah.
Like these big walls.
I'm sure I want to
that's
go
hanging
in.
from the top.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm not sure I want to go in. I like the mystery of it all.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you don't know what it is.
Yeah, I got to go in there because being
next door.
attacked,
Sure.
we went there and it was.
Yeah,
it was
that
nice.
whole area, that whole spot's been completely redeveloped with like a, I don't even. It's like
Where
a
the
training
temporary
center.
TAC. Yeah, I think it's a Mitsubishi training. They call it the Forum.
Yeah, they told us what they were going to do with it.
Did they?
We knew they were going to.
Some residences, temporary residences, and training centers.
So you're still there. You're still in the same place.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a house, not in an apartment.
It's like a walk-up townhouse sort of thing.
Yeah.
Are there? How many other foreigners? Is it a little cove for a couple of foreigners there? Or is
Many
it?
anymore.
There's 5 houses in our little complex, and now
one
empty. One guy just left, a foreigner. Yeah.
But everybody else is Japanese.
Yeah.
When we moved to Shinagawa, we were the foreign people.
You were the foreign people there. You came in and
that area. They
said, "Wow!" They'd stop by and take pictures of you when you walked out and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, more Daniel, right? Because he was cute and blonde.
That's right. Oh yeah.
Blonde.
You couldn't go anywhere without the one to touch his hair.
Yeah.
Come around.
We would go for walks, and he would just come back with stuff. People would just give him stuff. Persimmon, toy cars, he would just like fill up.
He was cute.
He was
2-year-old, blonde hair, blue eyes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And he had a perfect personality too. He was mild-mannered. You know, he didn't get upset. He wasn't hard or anything. No.
Not in public.
Yeah.
You got upset plenty, don't
Oh,
worry.
yeah. No, he was really
You met him.
No, but he was really good. He was always, I remember, mild-tempered, really good. Because I've seen some kids I've seen the whole gamut
Sure.
of kids. And
You remember, he would like pick the things he wanted to do on the course.
Yeah.
And some he just was like, I'm not
he
doing
done
that. I'm just skipping over that.
I'm good. Because he was sure about what he didn't want to do. He was clear. He was clear.
And there was nothing.
So what side of the family, which one of you did you get that from? who got accused of passing that down to him?
I don't know about that one.
He's special.
Yes.
He just got that on his own.
Yes.
That's the combination of the two.
I guess I sort of always had an idea of what I wanted to do when I was a kid. But I don't know. He's got his own
being
take
by
on it.
yourself, you didn't have. So you played a lot. Did you have imaginary friends? Because I hear a lot of kids that are by themselves. They develop a real strong imagination.
Sure, and
Because you don't have
obviously you don't
education,
have a lot of
right.
toys. You don't have a
Right.
lot of anything. So
Right.
I did know how to be busy.
Right.
And also, I grew up around adults, and
There you go.
I
That
also
happens.
found that, like, they just didn't have that much time for me because I was, my parents got divorced. I lived with my grandparents; they were busy, so I had to be a good kid. I mean, there was not a lot of room for whatever.
Right.
So I definitely was not an indulged,
Right.
single child.
Mhm.
I was, I had to
Be focused.
fit in and do what I was told, and stay busy.
Did you pick architecture, or did you have someone encourage you to go into that
Gosh,
field?
that's kind of So I liked art. I was pretty good at it. I liked, sciences and English and art. All those things I enjoyed. And when I looked at what kind of encompasses all of that, at the time, it was architecture. Seemed like it was, and it was. You should, I believe in co-op. You should see what the day-to-day life is like. Because the day-to-day, not everybody's going to be a Kengokuma, is the point I'm trying to make.
I got you.
Some of the time it's pretty boring and it's pretty mundane and it's pretty just like cookie cutter stuff.
Mhm.
If you're, there's lots of firms that do lots of work, and, it's mainly approving plans for people that want to build something. Like, it's not the stuff in the movies. Whenever they want to give somebody like a cool job in the movies, they always make them an architect. Yes, their job is cool, but it's not always that way, right? So, and I found also, especially for a woman, at the time, it was very difficult because there was this stereotypical thing, there's this hierarchy thing. So, and I just kind of didn't want to play that. But I didn't know that, of course, before.
Right.
Also, when we started, they said, there's 10 jobs for every graduate. But 5 years when we finished, it turned to there's 10 graduates for every job.
Right.
Because of, there was from 90 to 95, right? Mm-hmm. So that added to it too, right? And there's not a lot of, that would have been a great program to benefit from co-op, some sort of co-op internship programs. Of course, you tried to get a job in the field, but it was very difficult. So,
No, I'm listening to you, Agnes. I'm starting to think, just from what you're saying, someone your age at that time could not think that way, especially if they had siblings. You had older people about you telling you, because everyone's dreaming about their job. You're saying it's not going to be just what you think it's going to be. It's like someone saying they want to be a sailor, and I'm going to go out to the 7 seas and sail around.
They didn't really talk
but somebody's
to me.
got to clean the boat. You know what I mean? When it comes in the port, you're not just saying something.
They didn't really talk to me
Right.
about that so much. You got to remember, I'm from a family of immigrants and then immigrants. So my grandparents moved from Belarus to Poland because of the war.
Right.
So they had to survive. And then my mother immigrated us to Canada.
Okay.
And there was no choice of like, you don't do well or you don't.
Right, it's just
You,
the two of you.
you
Anyway,
have to
yeah,
be
yeah.
self-sufficient.
Right.
No, she remarried, but it doesn't matter. I mean,
But
there's
right away,
just,
but wait, there's never any time. How much time did you spend just with your mother? She remarried when you went to Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I mean, the point is, for me, I quickly understood that I need to be independent, and the way to independence for a woman is through education. So there was no plan B.
Gotcha.
There was just
Because if you have a plan B, you don't have a plan A.
no, but there's just like
You
you just
can't.
do it.
You're not committed.
You just do it, and so I went full into that. Hindsight, I probably should have chosen something like industrial design because that's more what I'm interested in, like making smaller things.
We're just saying that. Well, why won't you do it now then?
Yeah, maybe. You
I'm
never
saying,
know.
so what do you see for the future? Back to that point.
For us, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of, we haven't set any plans or anything, so.
Could you be in Japan much longer?
We could. We'll see. No, we haven't looked at anything that too much far. The only thing we're trying to figure out is Daniel's in grade 8, has to go to high school somewhere, so that...
Oh, you haven't picked the school?
No, depends on where we go. If we stay here, he'll hopefully go to SIJ, like his sister. If we don't...
SIJ did a great job for Isabella.
Yeah,
academically, they prepared her very well.
And what is she doing now?
She's at UBC, University of British Columbia, and she's studying engineering. Yeah.
I wonder who programmed her to think that
I
way.
didn't have
You had nothing to do with
I
that?
didn't push at all.
Right.
I was surprised when she brought it up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she kind of just came and said, Dad, you know,
She didn't even tell me. We were talking to someone else. Said, "Oh, I'm interested in doing this program." I'm like, "Oh, really?
Yeah, you said no, they went in.
Really?"
She never did. Did she ever do things with you, or?
Work-wise,
Yeah.
we did a couple things, but it's not so simple here to bring her to the office.
That's right,
And
that's right.
my engineering work, I'm more on the marketing side, so there's not much engineering work I do. It's more business side.
You don't
of
have a
things.
hobby or something that involves?
No, not so much. No, it's been difficult to get things go. I mean, when we lived in Canada, I used to do a lot of work on the house, home renovations and whatnot. Did all the renos ourselves, but she wouldn't have seen that. 'Cause she was 5. So, and here you don't get a chance to do that because we don't own anything here. It's just rental, so I can't go and start breaking walls down and rewiring up I want that door over here. Do you think they'd mind? No, let's just change the plumbing around, put a new bathroom in. Yeah, I don't think they'd go for that at the place you're at. But that was what I sort of got into, and I don't think
out of necessity, Kirk, because the house we bought was like 80 years old.
Well, I had to do something.
So
So I've
there's
learned.
always something to
Always
fix.
something to work on,
Yeah.
And you might as well put it over here now. since you
Kitchen,
were just-
bathroom,
And
plumbing,
supposedly,
that,
I have an electroengineering degree, so I should be able to
That's right.
wire things, but
That's right.
Should
they don't teach you that in
They
electrical
don't-
engineering.
No, they teach you theory.
Yes, they teach you theory, but
They teach you
you
theory.
learn practical things really quickly. So
Yeah.
no, it was good. It's exciting.
That's interesting. So if you did, you don't mind being here longer, but if you could choose to go somewhere from here, where would you go? Would you go back to Canada?
I don't really have any urge to go back to Canada. I mean, Vancouver looks nice. We were there. That was because our daughter's there now.
Do you know the world has changed while we've been in the Japan
In the
Tokyo bubble.
expat life.
Well, that,
Something
but
understand.
we live a little bit on the edge of the expat life too, because we're in Shinagawa, so it's not like we're in Motaazabu and
Oh yeah, right.
I
don't think that's as big a population as people think.
Well,
Most of
but
us
that-
are scattered out.
but it's so I feel like we've embraced a lot of things about Japan, and I love it quite a lot.
Isn't it easy to live?
It's easy living, and
It's
that's
so easy.
Oh,
the
once you
thing.
learn how to work, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just physically, mentally.
Yeah.
It's
You don't-
so easy.
It's the
Things-
same. Everything's the
you're
same.
right.
I never
So-
understood why Japanese people didn't want to move out of Japan, but now when you come here, you realize
Trains on
you
time.
don't have to think that I just walk to the train station. That same train's there every day. It's on time.
Right.
Yeah.
And
There's
it's
not a
gotten
lot
to
of-
the point, I
not a lot
remember
of stress.
before the bubble, because you were here before the bubble, you actually had to wave a cab. Now, if you lift your hand above your heart, the cab will stop. No matter where you're
It's
at.
easy. Yeah.
No matter where you're at, you can be in the intersection, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's really
And
interesting.
once you get used to that, it's frustrating going to the other cities.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
How am I
you go
gonna
there and say, wait, I've been here for 15 minutes and no one's come to say anything
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
It really does. You
I
get
know.
really, your expectations change.
Oh yeah.
You know what's possible.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
person's sitting over there talking to someone else, and you say, "Come on."
Yeah. Oh,
Do you know what? Do you
I
know
don't
what
want to hear your conversation.
What I love is here people don't have to like you, but they will afford you the same amount of respect that they do to anybody. Like it's just a base level that everybody gets. Look, I've been here for 13 years almost. Maybe somebody's been a teeny bit nasty to me twice. Maybe.
Explain what nasty is too. And so, what kind of nasty you're talking about?
I mean, like,
Right.
yeah, like I'm running for the bus, I'm
Mhm.
waving at the
Mhm.
bus, I'm
Mhm.
like, I clearly want to get onto the
Right.
bus, and the bus just goes.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay.
And because they saw,
Right.
I mean, I was
They
probably
knew.
looking like a
Right.
yard sale. I had
Right.
one kid here, grocery, you know.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
the
they
kind of
didn't want
nasty.
any part of
I
that.
just want you to define that, because nasty here compared to nasty in the States,
Oh, no.
that means you lose an arm or someone punched you in the face.
No. And like
You're
maybe
right.
some old man yelled at me once, but I didn't understand what he was saying, so it's
He
like,
could have been warning you.
could have been.
Kills get that. Kills get that. And you're going,
Yeah.
don't you yell.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
He could have been telling you to be careful.
But you know, like, yeah. So, and that's why I'm saying, you know, because I'm sure we put off people somewhere in some situations, but nobody will be like outwardly horrible to
Isn't
you.
that the truth?
And so, and just the fact that you can leave your stuff and it's not going to run away. I could leave my phone. I mean, you walk into a Starbucks, you're like,
For
oh,
weeks,
empty table.
For weeks. You can leave it there for weeks. And
Yeah,
come
but
back
there's
and
like an
see
empty
like,
table, so you reserve it with your phone, and you go get
your
your
handbag. Oh, your bag.
whatever. Yeah, and it's
the most amazing
because
thing.
you're worried about getting the table,
Yeah, that's right.
And then you leave here. You know, I found.
and then you get robbed. Yeah.
You know, you're here for, I think it takes about 10 years. When you're here about 10 years. And I used to tell people when I interviewed them that you're going to go through culture shock. And they said, yeah, I have. I said, no. It's when you lived here for a year or two and go back to wherever you came from and realize what you learned to put up with.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Well, every
You get
time we
that
go
all-
back
yeah.
for the summer,
Get the reverse-
You're on
reverse
high
culture
alert.
shock, you're like,
You're on high alert.
yeah.
And you could be out in the forest alone. You think someone's going to come in here and spoil this.
Yeah.
I mean, walking into a mall, walking into a shopping mall in the States and Canada too now. Exit, hide
Isn't
spot.
that something?
That
You have to
stuff
think
has
that.
to. Yeah.
I was just talking to my sister the other day,
Yeah.
and she said, you know, I always go to a place to make sure the wall's at my back. And I look at the exits, and I said, you really? She said, yes. And I said, no, I can't. When I go there, I know what my mission is. I go, and I know where I'm going to go, and I don't look around. I don't want to. I'm there, and I've got that, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. The hardest thing for me is to get on the plane and deal with the people there. And I'm starting to think, I don't want to do that anymore. It's just, why do I have to get on the plane with these people? I don't want to do that.
Well, I just finished telling my daughter, you know, she
You're
was like,
you feel the same?
yeah. She was just telling, like, you know, I had to leave her in Canada, and Canada's considered quite good, but, you know, I'm giving her pointers about walking here and there, and she's like, oh, should I not do this? And I said, look, the main thing is, don't be a target. And she says, what's that? And I'm like, oh yeah, we have to go there. You know, like she doesn't understand.
Right, you don't go like
living
this.
here, right? Yeah.
Right.
I said, eyes up. Don't
Right.
look down. Don't read your phone when you're walking. Be aware, you know,
That's
all
right.
this stuff. Hey, you know,
Look at people.
I'm walking this way, but I know there's a person behind me
That's-
here, and I
there
know
you
there's a
go.
person walking fast here. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
That's the reality.
The radar
Where you
on.
are, it's got to have it on.
Yeah.
One thing I learned in Japan is patience.
That's right. Gummo.
Patience.
That's right.
You go to the
That's
store
right.
to buy something, to a gift or whatever. You're in a hurry. They're going to wrap it. They're going to wrap it. The way
go
they
fast?
do it.
No.
No, there's no faster.
No.
No.
I almost got mad the other day because
No, you just.
I wanted to change my order, and the guy said, "Just not that." I'm no customer, man.
Yeah.
And he wanted to finish his thing, and
You have to take a deep breath,
right.
and you just have to.
You're right.
Okay,
Get
I'll
there.
be
It's
here.
good to be a good meditator, right? Because you're going to have time to do that
But it
here.
has to be okay. You have to be okay with it, and it's okay. And yeah, I might be late, might miss that train. Oh well. There's going to be another train coming.
With that, how would you like to end? What would you like to tell me? to tell people? How would you like to end with? Would you enjoy your work? We're getting there. I'm giving you plenty of time.
End with.
Yeah. Would you like to say, what are your ending comments? Like, how do you feel about Japan or your experience here or those kind of things? Something you'd like to pass down because your daughter's going to see this. Would you like to tell her?
Well, there's a wonderful thing a woman told me when we first moved here. I mean, maybe I was a newbie, maybe a few months or whatever. I had 2 little kids. It's like a struggle and a bit, right? Figuring things out. And there was no, Google Maps didn't work back then yet, and many things were written in Japanese. So it was trying, right? And we were just, I think it was through, at the time, women's group, now it's Connections, but I don't know, I was somewhere. And I remember her saying something like, there's a lot, and we were talking obviously about missing home and the way things are at home. And she said, there's something that you lose when you leave your home country to do this sort of thing. But on the flip side, there's something that is amazing that you gain. And she said, what you do is your family unit, the one you came with, becomes so much tighter. And it's like, it's unbelievable how much tighter you 4 will become because of this experience. And she's so right. And I wish I remembered her name. I wish I read much about it. But
it wasn't Heidi, was it?
No,
Not the
it wasn't.
Heidi here. No, there's another Heidi.
No, it wasn't. But the point I'm trying to make is I keep her legacy like that alive because I keep telling everybody that moves here the same thing because it's so true. And that's what I'm truly thankful for, is that our family unit is very close. It would have been different.
Great in it. You've worked it out.
Well,
Let's see, you two marriage. This is what I would call a marriage. And I tell people I don't really believe in marriage. And I'm married. I don't want to marry anyone else.
it's a lot of work, man.
Tell me about it. But you two have worked it out. And I know it hasn't always been nice. And you're still working it out.
Sure.
That's a beautiful thing, I think. If you got someone you can do that with. And like you said, that unit coming together.
Yeah, that's what Japan has given us. I think we feel it, right? Because the kids are close. We're close with the kids. Yeah, there's this and that, but they always, there's no this like, oh, I hate you or whatever. That doesn't happen because we need to rely on each other.
That's right.
Right? And that's what doing this gives you. And that's forever. That's for keeps. So thank you, Japan, for that.
Kirk?
No, I don't really have any closing thoughts.
That was a good one?
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
That's good. It's been, actually, it's becoming more of it's hitting home now that from this, Isabella's now away. So it's, we do talk to her quite often.
Which you talk to her quite often, don't you?
Yeah, almost daily we're talking to her. And she's telling us how things are going and whatnot. We're trying to give advice, but I look back and I never called my parents every day. It was like once every.
The times were different too. You can do it free now, and you can look at them.
Yeah.
This is a completely
I'm
different
not
time.
sure I would have.
Yeah, no, I still don't think I would have.
Well, the times were different though.
Well,
Everyone's
when
doing
you
that
live
now.
somewhere in a community, in a place
right.
somewhere, back in your home country, your kids get friends that they go to, like, and the tribe raises them, like
That's
the
right.
people,
Right.
like they kind of go
That's
here,
true.
and those people now have a big influence on them. Whereas here it's different
It's
because
your tribe,
you're
right? You're just you.
That's us.
You're
That's
brought in
ours.
together,
Yeah,
so
which isn't,
I'm happy. I'm happy with.
You obviously are.
Yeah.
Both of you are.
And I think that's the key to anything you do is ultimately you have to ask yourself is, am I happy? Right?
But you talk to each other a lot too. I mean, you don't.
Do we? We kind of more
You don't.
mental telepathy.
yeah, sort of.
Oh, you do the telepathy.
Yeah.
So you got to that space.
We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
So you know what to expect, right? You don't have, you fill in each other's sentences. You know exactly.
Certain things I don't need to ask.
That's good because I think someone gave me the woman I was talking about, Heidi. She gave me something that I hadn't thought of there a lot. She said, "Your friends are your chosen family."
Yeah.
And that happens to us as well because you don't have that base of your family is what you built up.
Yeah.
And you start deciding, that one's a good friend. This one, and that ends up being closer to you than your family could be.
Well, for me especially too, I mean, I've had so many families that people have chosen for me. right? Through my mom's husbands, etc. And so this is, choosing for yourself is pretty powerful.
Isn't it? You start realizing, hey, just because we're biologically connected doesn't mean
Mm.
we have to be friends.
We're about to go swim with our motley
Right.
crew.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Isn't that neat? Yeah, here's a type.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
So
there's a
gets
very
us-
nice group of friends that we met that are more long-term here. And people always said that's what happens. You have your first set that kind of come and go and
And
whatever.
breaks your heart.
And they're
Yeah.
wonderful and
That's
it's
right.
a lot of fun. It's very intense. But then you get this really good set. Like you, like
A better
it's like
set,
a
or better
it's
set,
a
yeah.
steady set,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I see, right.
And
That's
they
true.
don't
Not
they don't
leaving
go,
in-
They don't
right?
go, they're
Which
here.
is great, which has
Yeah.
been the big change
Yeah.
for us in the last few years, and it's been really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, pulls me out to swim every morning somehow.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, it's
It's
great
so
to
good.
do this with
Isn't
a
that
group
the
of
truth?
people.
Yeah.
You know, swimming is the best activity you can do because you work every muscle in your body.
Yes,
That's really true.
sometimes we find them all.
Yeah.
Yes. Miguel, he's able.
Masa and Miguel,
Masa and
put us
Miguel.
through our
Yeah.
paces. Yeah.
Yes, relearning how to swim again. Yeah.
I want to thank both of you.
Thank you.
This has been beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you so
Thanks.
much.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. I want to thank all of you for watching this podcast. Make sure you press like, subscribe, and never forget, it's all alone. Continue to reach for the stars, and you're too blessed to be stressed.